Hello there everyone and welcome back to another Umbara mock update video, and this is the last update video before the finale, so there's a lot of things to work on the mock, so without any further ado, let's get started. Alright guys, here we are, the second to last episode here for Umbara. You saw in the last couple episodes me finishing up this terrain area up front right here, as well as working on those two buildings. And for this episode, I'm going to get as close as I can to finishing the mock, and then I'll have to finish the rest of it at Brickworld, and then you can expect, similar to what I did last year with this FO, a kind of finale video from the convention, and that should be pretty cool. So what are we going to do for this episode? Essentially for this episode, I have this whole space left right here to cover. Originally, I've been kind of switching ideas almost every episode here on what to build right here, whether it be another tower, 3 more buildings, 2 more buildings, and I wasn't really too sure, and last episode I kind of talked about maybe finding some sort of solution. So one thing I wanted to do in the middle here was, originally I wanted to put another building, but I just decided not to because it's going to cover up all of those buildings, and I just think that'd be a poor design choice to not even be able to see any of these other buildings. I think that just wouldn't work very well. So what I've decided to do is put kind of a courtyard in the middle here. I thought it'd be cool to put a courtyard in the middle of the building, so we have the building surrounding here, courtyard in the middle, have a bunch of cool action going on in there, and I'm kind of trying to figure out what exactly to do. And you know, when I think of a courtyard, I kind of think of like fountains and stuff like that. So the first thing that came to mind was Battlefront 1 2004, the older Battlefront 1, the Bespin map, the Bespin Cloud City map. You have all these kind of cool walkways and stuff, but then right in the middle of the map there's like a fountain area. So immediately I just looked that up and tried to use that as a reference. So that's just, you know, me growing up with those games, loving those games. It just was in the back of my mind when I was trying to think of a courtyard. The first courtyard that came to mind from Star Wars was the Battlefront map from Bespin. So instead of putting a fountain right here, I want to do something a little more kind of Umbaran, if that makes sense. Alright, I've been working a little bit more here on the courtyard area, and this is what I've come up with. Kind of using these interesting pieces that I found that I've had for a while now. These kind of trans blue pieces here connected on one of these clip pieces, and I've kind of created a little stack here. So you can see I've got a couple different ones right there. And while I was building it, it kind of gave me like a power generator type vibe. So I think I'll put a light, I'll string a light hopefully underneath here into this main one and have some light shining through here. And then I can kind of open it to access it, you know, kind of like that, and open and close it. So my idea is to have a light shining through there, and this will kind of be like the main generator area maybe. So we'll have a bunch of clones maybe taking cover here, trying to blow this up while taking, you know, fire from droids and everything all over the place. It's going to have to do for now. I'll probably try to make a few more modifications during the convention, but now it's time to get on and build the final building here, and hopefully I have enough time to do that, but it's going to be a lot of work, so I need to get started. Alright guys, I've started here on the last building for Umbara. I decided to go with a similar design to the other buildings that I've been doing, with this one right here and the back one with kind of this inverted slope idea right there. This time using some trans neon green like I did with that building over there. I think it fits pretty well. I've got some battle damage holes in there and kind of some hallways that I'll add in there. I'll show you guys here in a little bit. And one thing I really wanted to capture was this narrow hallway, or narrow street right here. So that was something I really wanted to do, which is why I put it so close right here. I just love like narrow street combat, like setting up figures for that. I think that'll be awesome. The only issue is that leaves a big open space right there that I have to figure out what to do. But here's what we've got so far for this building. I'm going to go ahead and try to finish up these panels and update you guys once I get that finished up. Alright guys, and here's the battle damage sections here on the build. One thing I did was also add some lights, so you can see I've got some lights hung up in there. You kind of can see them up there on the top, so now you can see into here, which I think will be a pretty cool touch. I've got a little doorway back there, and then nothing too complex for the ground or for the walls right there, just dark gray stuff. And a couple of jumpers so I can place some minifigures down in there. And I added in another battle damaged area over on the other side of the building so you can see through to the city center, and I think that looks pretty cool. So just another little element here. One of my favorite parts of Brickworld is doing these kind of, I've always done hallways or tunnels or something, so that eye level views at the convention and for videos and everything you can see into the buildings, and I just think it'll look really, really cool. So 2 battle damage sections now added in there just to give it a little more depth. And what I ended up doing for the side of the building here is doing this texture, another panel design, but this time I decided to build some of the tiles out by one stud right there. I think that just gave it a little more texture. Unfortunately, I ran out of neon green, so I had to go back to the blue for these walls right here. But I think this just changes it up a little bit and adds a little more texture this time around, so it's not just a plain flat wall. And here's what it looks like on the other side right here. That way I just think it gives it some nice detail. And here's what we're kind of looking at for this little corridor area, or I guess alleyway right here. I'm really excited about this. This close quarter stuff with the clones is my stuff that I love the most. So I'm really, really excited to set up clones in this close quarter combat area. I think it's going to be really awesome. So again, I really like this. My main issue now, as we jump back over to the other side of the city, now my big issue is there's this huge gap right here. So again, I could move this building over and make it more kind of in between these other buildings. My only issue there is I don't want to block the city center, and I don't want to block those other buildings. If I move it here, you kind of lose a lot of that, and you also lose kind of the alleyway right there, because I want there to be a view at the convention where you can just sit through and see all of the buildings and all the details and all the figures that I'm going to be putting throughout the MOC in the city center. So that's kind of my main concern, is what am I going to put right here? If I make a whole nother building, it's going to block right here. Ideally, it would have been awesome to do like a crashed ship or, you know, a destroyed tank. But unfortunately, I have 2 days until the convention, pretty much before I have to pack up and leave. So I don't really have time to make any designs or anything like that for vehicles or anything. It'd be cool to have a crash tank right here. Alternatively, it's just going to be whole road area. The road area will continue all throughout here. But I feel like that's just going to be plain. So I have a day or so to think this over and figure out what the heck I'm going to do. And I really think something needs to go here, but it needs to be small enough that it doesn't block this area, because I really want to be able to see in throughout the whole city. So lots for me to figure out. In the meantime, I have a couple more roofs to finish up. That one back there, that one, and this one. So I'm going to work on that. Once that's finished up, I'll be good to go. Again, a couple days until the convention. I need to finish up those roofs, figure out what I'm going to do in that corner, and then I'm going to work on the path once I get to the convention, just because I'm not going to have enough time to do that here before. So a couple more things to figure out here, but we're getting very close. All right, and I've got a roof here now on this building over here. I got to say, I think out of all the designs, this one is probably the one I prefer the most. This building right here in the middle with those kind of cool triangle tile pieces. Here's the roof, nothing too complex there, using some different tiles and grill pieces as well, and some 1x4s and other pieces along the outside there. The only unfortunate part is I'm all out of light bluish gray, like 1x tiles. I'd love to tile these off, but I'm just all out, so maybe I can find some at the convention if anybody's selling there. Otherwise, this is going to kind of have to be what it's like. So that building is now pretty much, yeah, all complete right there with the roof. Alongside that one right there. All right, and the next thing I did here was finish up the roof of this dark gray building right here. Nothing too complex as well on this one. I do have some places for minifigures to stand, and then I've also got kind of a latch right there, so this can open up. You know, theoretically you could open that up and minifigures could hop in and out of this. So just a small little detail to get down to the bottom of the other layers right there. And then along the outside, I just have these railings right here. These railings are actually a very similar design, pretty much the exact same design as something that I did for a Munilist. I was looking through an old bin and found part of the design that I did for some railings on those, and I thought if I change the color up, this actually would look really, really cool on this building. So now this final dark gray building is pretty much complete as well, and it's looking pretty good here with the railings and stuff like that, although there is a gap right here, so hopefully the Umbarans have some good traction on their boots. Otherwise, this building is looking pretty good. And yeah, last thing to do is get a roof on and complete the final building that I've been working on at the start of this episode. But these 3 buildings are now pretty much all complete, and yeah, time to move on. All right, and I now have a roof on top of this final building right there. So now it is pretty much complete. Unfortunately, something happened that I never thought would happen, is I actually ran out of 1x4 light bluish gray. And my plan was to do a roof, you know, similar to this one right here, where I have kind of 2 layers of 1x4s around the outside. But I am completely all out. I've checked all my bins and everything, all my previous MOC bins. So unfortunately I'm out, which means I had to use masonry brick, and I flipped them the other side around, so not the actual side that you normally would see, just because I haven't been doing that at all for this mock. I wanted it to be a lot smoother, so I used this side for the masonry brick, and that's what I'm going to have to do unless I find, quite a lot of 1x4s that somebody is selling. But this is what I've come up with, and I'm going to have to use, which it looks okay, but it's definitely not my preferred option. But at the end of these mock series, got to make some compromises. And then here's the top of the build as well. Got some places right there, jumper plates for minifigures. Have some empty gaps because, like I said, I ran out of tiles, so we'll see if I can find any more here. And then, yeah, same thing with the tiles. Can't cover any of these up, so I kind of did some solutions with these neon green colors right here, just because I had some extra ones laying around and I haven't used too many of them throughout the city, so I wanted to kind of see what that would look like if I put kind of a little lamppost thing or like a little light right there along with some other neon green. I think that'll fit in well. Trans neon green would fit in well with the rest of the building. But here's what we've got for the roof. As for this gap right here in the build, what I decided and kind of what I've been thinking about doing is just doing maybe some sort of arch or a couple of pillars right here, as if this was a main road that would continue through the rest of the city area, and you kind of can have a main archway or a little road, some pillars right here, kind of as if this was almost a secondary entrance into the city this way, and you'll still get that really cool view right here where you can look all the way through the mock, all the way down to the other side as well down there with all the battlefield with the 501st and everything as well. So I think that'll work well. I don't know if I'll have time to get to it this episode. I might have to pack everything. I might have to pack all the pieces with me and try to get it done at the convention. All right, guys, and with that is going to be it for the normal episodes here. The next time you're going to see this mock will be the finale at the convention, and hopefully everything will be set up exactly as it is right here. Normally how things go at the convention is some things break and I have to repair a couple things, change a few things, but hopefully it'll stay mostly the same. And this is what we're looking like for the mock, and I'm really excited to get the finale all finished up because putting minifigures on here is just going to be so much fun and take it really to the next level. But man, this has been a lot of fun. We got the battlefield right here, entrance to the city with the walkway, and then these new buildings that I've been working on for the past few episodes. Definitely was a time crunch, and the city did not turn out exactly the way I always envisioned it. I had a very difficult time trying to make these buildings and how to come up with designs just because we never saw any reference pictures of the capital itself. So I tried the best I could to kind of come up with architecture that I thought resembled Umbara. Hopefully you guys did enjoy it, and this is just going to look so epic with all the figures set up and everything like that. But I'm pretty much going to have to call it here, guys. Brickworld is about a day and a half away. It's late at night right now, and this is kind of the last time I'm going to be able to record anything or build anything until the convention. So now it's time to take some of this apart in sections, saran wrap it all nice and tight, pack everything up, and get ready to hit the road and get ready for Brickworld and hopefully see this thing in full glory with all the minifigures and everything. So thank you guys so much for watching. Again, the next time you'll see this will be the finale, and it'll be kind of a similar thing to what I did with Zeppo last year, where I kind of just have the finished mock and I do kind of a final video walkthrough of it, and I kind of give you guys my thoughts and everything like that. So thank you guys so much for all the feedback and opinions. It's been insane, and I've been so happy with the way the series has gone, even though I've been delayed in a lot of the episodes. Having a full-time job and trying to complete this at the same time has been extremely difficult, more difficult than I imagined, which is why it's been such a time crunch lately. But thank you guys for tuning into each episode, and thank you guys for commenting on each episode. It means so much to me. This is one of my favorite things to do in life, is make these builds, make these videos, and talk to you guys in the comment sections and take it to Brickworld and see everyone come through and look at the mock and all the imagination on the kids' faces, and like just their eyes light up when they see the battles and they see the builds from, Clone Wars and everything like that. It makes my heart so happy to build these things and take them to conventions and show people and see the joy that it brings. And yeah, if you guys have seen Robot Chicken, I'll leave you with this, when Darth Vader says, "That really hits me where I live." So that's about it, and let's go ahead and move on to the outro. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you did enjoy. Again, this is the last episode before the finale. The finale will be filmed at Brickworld Chicago, and I'll have the mock all set up with all of the figures and everything complete. And I'll kind of do one last full walkthrough of the entire mock, so it should be very exciting. And as always, leave your feedback in the comment section below. Hope you guys have a great day, and may the Force be with you always.